Alright, imagine this. You're out in space, just floating, and for whatever reason you have no spacesuit. No helmet, no protection. Just you, completely exposed to the vacuum of space. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I'd probably just freeze solid in seconds or maybe even explode. That's what a lot of movies show, right? But what actually happens to the human body in space? Well, let me tell you, it's not as instant or dramatic as Hollywood makes it seem, but it's still absolutely terrifying. See, space is a vacuum, meaning there's no air pressure around you. On Earth, we don't think much about air pressure, but it's actually pushing on us all the time, keeping our bodily fluids in a stable state. Your skin and body tissues are actually pretty strong, though. They won't just rip apart because there's no external pressure. Instead, your body will swell up a lot. Your fingers, arms, face, everything would puff up to almost twice its normal size. You'd look really bloated. But surprisingly, this alone wouldn't kill you. It would be painful, but your skin is elastic enough to keep everything contained. Here's where things get a little more disturbing. Without air pressure, the boiling point of liquids drops a lot. That means the fluids in your body, especially in your blood, would start to form gas bubbles. Now, this doesn't mean your blood would literally start boiling like a pot of water. Instead, it would kind of fizz and bubble inside your veins. It's a process called embolism, and it's extremely dangerous. This would make it harder for oxygen to move through your bloodstream, which is already a huge problem because, well, you need oxygen to survive. This is what would really kill you the fastest, the lack of oxygen. On Earth, we're surrounded by air, constantly breathing in oxygen without even thinking about it. The moment you're exposed, you have about 10 to 15 seconds before you pass out from hypoxia, basically oxygen deprivation. Now, some people might think, oh, I'll just hold my breath. But actually, that would be way worse. If you tried to hold in a lungful of air, the sudden pressure difference would cause your lungs to burst, which, yeah, would be a really bad way to go. So instead, the best thing you could do would be to exhale completely. But let's be honest, no matter what you do, it's not looking great for you at this point. Okay, but what about freezing? Space is insanely cold. About minus 270 degrees Celsius or minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit, which is colder than anything we experience on Earth. So wouldn't you turn into a human popsicle in seconds? Surprisingly, no. See, freezing needs a medium, like air or water, to transfer heat away from your body. Space, being a vacuum, doesn't conduct heat well at all. Instead of losing heat rapidly, your body would cool down very slowly through radiation. So technically, you wouldn't freeze instantly. In fact, if you were near a star, you might even overheat before freezing because there's no atmosphere to protect you from direct solar radiation. Basically, it's like standing next to a giant heat lamp and then suddenly standing in a deep freezer. Either way, not great. Here's the real question. How long would you last before it's game over? Well, as I said before, after about 10 to 15 seconds, you'd pass out from lack of oxygen. If nobody rescued you, you'd survive for about 90 seconds max before your body completely shut down. And here's a fun fact. NASA actually has some real data on this. In the 1960s, a test subject in a vacuum chamber accidentally lost his suit pressure, and he lost consciousness in 14 seconds. He said the last thing he remembered was the saliva boiling on his tongue. So yeah, being naked in space. Not a great idea. You wouldn't explode, but you would swell up, suffocate, and get a nasty sunburn from all the cosmic radiation. And even if someone did manage to rescue you within 90 seconds, you'd probably suffer from serious injuries. But hey, now you know what really happens. If you found this interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy science facts, and I'll see you in the next one.